Hey, welcome to the QB School Show. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Fire it up, talk a little ball, take our mind maybe away from some other things that are confusing and frustrating to a lot of us, but it's tough, man, with the vortex of no sports. So hopefully this fills just a very small void, but looking forward to talking ball. Oh, I know the story I wanted to tell. Gotta take it down for this one. So, pro days and the show off throws on a pro day. So I want to say it was Herbert recently on his NFL pro day. I don't even know if they're technically NFL pro days now, but they had their pro day at Oregon, and to finish it up, he stands like flat-footed on the goal line. I'm sure many of y'all saw this, and chucks it like 60 yards, which is impressive. I could not do that. I think maxing out like crow hop, shuffle, full on follow through, kind of downhill with a wind. I was like a 65 plus guy. And so to throw that flat footed 60 yards is impressive. And the dude's got a cannon. I mean, the film shows he has a cannon. But it reminded me of one of my favorite pro day stories that I can remember from playing. And you got to understand now, I know most people probably get this intuitively, but there's this perception of like tough guyness in the NFL and really anywhere, right? Like masculinity in general. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but everybody is sensitive to a certain degree. And pro athletes are no different, whether you're the star or the last person on the roster. And it's I feel like even more so for the stars. And so I remember really explicitly get traded to Green Bay. And I want to say it was like a Christmas Day game, like a holiday game. We played the Baltimore Ravens. And Kyle Boller, I want to say, was playing. Now, I feel like there are probably holes in the story because I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure this is how it went down. I know Craig Nall has told this story many times because we still talk about it every once in a while. We were playing Baltimore. Kyle Boller is playing. And Brett he's a unique dude on many levels, but he's a sharp cat. He plays the fool a little bit as far as like the Southern country boy, but he's a sharp, competitive dude. And our offensive coordinator at the time, I want to say he was the offensive coordinator in the time. I think he had health issues and wasn't calling plays at the time. Tom Rossley, he was like an old SMU head coach. Was with Sherman, went with Sherman to Texas A&M. Well, Tom Rossley must have come in the year before I got there. I got traded midway through the season. And they talk, when you're on an organization, you talk about the quarterbacks that are coming out. You do. Like, who do you like? Why do you like them? Would you grade them? How, where do they fall? What's the pick? All those type of things, especially if you're a star player, you have an understanding. I don't know if you know exactly what the organization is going to do, but you know who the first round guys are. You have an understanding of what's going on in the draft. And Tom Rossley must have told Brett that he really liked Kyle Boller. Now, Tom Rossley is also the dude who told me that they were going to draft me, and they didn't. So you got to understand, I have a little bit of bias in this story. And I hope Tom is all right. I haven't talked to him in many years. So Tom loves Kyle Boller coming out of the draft. He ends up going in, I want to say, in the late first round to Baltimore. Well, we meaning I'm on the Packers, we play Baltimore like a Christmas Day game or holiday game. And Kyle, I don't remember if we were watching film in preparation for the game or if it was at the game and we were talking after the game. Something about Kyle Boller, but his workout day that Tom loves so much is like he threw the ball from his knees, from the 50, like through the goalpost. Something ridiculous. Might have been one knee, whatever. Doesn't matter. But he did some throwing thing that like showed off his arm strength, which do it. But it really resonated with Brett because Brett has a cannon. And he came out before the pro day show off thing, really. And so it just needled Brett that like Tom loved Kyle so much. So we're playing this Baltimore Ravens Christmas Day game. And whatever, Kyle throws a terrible pick. It happens. And we're watching it back afterwards in the meeting room, like in the quarterback room. And Brett just couldn't help himself. He's like, "Hey, Tom." And we all kind of had an idea what was coming. He's like, "Hey, Tom, Kyle should have thrown that one from his knees. That was not good." "What grade did you have him?" It was just never ending anytime, because you got to understand, you watch a lot of other quarterbacks, right? If you're preparing for an opponent, you might watch 6 other quarterbacks play against that team. So you get to watch the same people, especially if you're playing, if they fall within your schedule. Like if you're in the NFC and you pull the AFC North, AFC West, so you're going to see all those quarterbacks all year in all your film. And so we pulled the Baltimore matchup that year, and it was just like we saw Kyle every single week in these videos that we'd have to watch, and it just killed Brett, and he just couldn't help himself. That like, yeah, bro, it's great. You can throw it from your knees through the goalpost, but can you play quarterback? Can you actually throw it straight when it matters in a game? And Brett just couldn't let it go. So it was one of my favorite Kyle Bowler, Brett Favre stories. And both are actually really good dudes, but I don't know if they ever probably know that story, but it was good for me. And I chuckle every time I see those type of, show off throws, which are great. Obviously, I'm probably jealous I couldn't do it, but it's does it really translate into being a good NFL quarterback? Probably not.